guys, welcome to my best weights for runners presentation. Choosing the best fitness equipment so you can get the best results possible. Now, in the last 20 to 30 years, technology has come a really far way. If you're as old as I am, you remember when we used to have dial-up internet, and today we have high-speed internet. And guess what? Fitness equipment has also come a really far way in the last 20 to 30 years. The problem is not a lot of people know about the equipment or they don't know how to use it, so they end up using the same things that people were using 30 years ago, which don't often make a lot of sense when it comes to athletic performance. So in today's video, what I'm going to talk about is traditional gym equipment, in general, what it's designed to do and why it's not the best option for runners. Then I'm going to talk about all the different kinds of fitness equipment that are really great for runners. And then I'm going to talk about the single weight training system that is going to get you the best results possible without needing a ton of stuff. Because weight training equipment today is so good that you can get amazing results with very little equipment. It really just comes down to how the equipment is designed. So let's get into it. Okay, so traditional gym equipment. So traditional gym equipment includes barbells, dumbbells, and weight machines. Now, I'm not going to be able to get too detailed about why these aren't the best options for training, but in general, these things are designed to maximize muscle growth. And the way they do that is by isolating muscle groups. The problem is that our hamstrings, for example, don't work in isolation. The hamstrings need to learn how to work with the muscles of the hip and with the muscles of the core at the exact same time. So when you put your body in a hamstring curler machine like this, you're isolating your hamstrings, which really just confuses your body because your hamstrings are never isolated in real life. So isolating muscles confuses the body. And the other thing to consider is that barbells and dumbbells are designed to be super stable implements so you can load as much weight as possible. And while going up in weight isn't necessarily a bad thing, if we want to get the best results possible in terms of athletic performance, we really need to be looking at more than just increasing weight. We need to be able to look at things like training in all three dimensions, training a variety of human movement patterns, and these tools just aren't the best way to do that. I can't go into all the details here, but trust me on this, I'm going to show you what it's like to work out with other equipment, and I think you'll start to see the differences for yourself. Okay, so useful equipment. So what I've made here is a list of all the different equipment that I use. But the good news is you're going to find out that you don't need most of this stuff, or you need maybe 20% of what I have listed here. So kettlebells are a great strength training tool. TRX, which is a suspension trainer, like those cords that hang from the ceiling in the gyms. Balance beam, I love my balance beam, it works great. Step-up platforms. Sliders, where you slide your hands and legs on the ground. Ultimate sandbags. Different kinds of bands. Steel maces are great for press outs, and pull-up bars. So there's a lot of tools that can be useful to runners, but here's the great news. The ultimate sandbags are basically all that most people will ever need. Why is that? Well, I'm a really big fan of the 80-20 rule. Meaning you put in 20% of the work. In this case, you buy 20% of the equipment and pay 20% of the amount of money you could on this stuff, and you get 80% of the results. So really all you need to train all human movement patterns, to train in all three dimensions, to build power, to build strong glutes, to build strong feet, everything you need can be done with just these three bags. Here's the downside. It requires time to learn how to use the ultimate sandbag. When you go into a weight machine, there's only one way to use it and you can't really mess it up. with the Ultimate Sandbag, there are a million different ways to use it, a million different exercises, some of which are going to be better for you right now than others. We need to learn how to do things like front load a squat, a hip hinge, how to rotate, how to resist force. There's a lot of learning involved, but the upside is that you're going to get so much better results than you can with that traditional gym equipment. So today in the rest of the presentation, I'm going to talk about the benefits of the Ultimate Sandbag. Okay, so the benefits of the Ultimate Sandbag. So I've kind of grouped together a couple benefits here. First is that they're low cost, they take up little space, and they can be used anywhere. So here on the right, we have a picture of me doing a 100-pound back step lunge with 2 Ultimate Sandbags. So let's get into the cost. So an annual gym membership, if you're assuming, oh, my math is wrong here. Okay, so let's say you pay $40 a month for a gym membership. Over the course of a year, that's $480, right? And you don't get to keep anything. When you spend $300 on a set of sandbags, which is what they cost, that's $300 for a lifetime gym membership, essentially, because it's all you need. You don't have to keep paying money into it. And the Ultimate Sandbags are designed with medical grade vinyl and industrial stitching, so they never go bad on you. You just always have them. So if you decide to go the sandbag route, you're going to save a ton of money. The other thing that I like about them is that they take up no space. So 3 bags can stack on top of each other. They can sit in a corner, and they can sit in your garage. You can put them in the car. They take up virtually no space compared to even buying like kettlebells, for example. If you want to train with kettlebells, you need a lot of kettlebells. They also don't have to attach into anything. So if you're going to train like with a TRX, you're going to have to make a hole in your ceiling, which is kind of a pain in the butt. The other cool thing is that the sandbags are more multi-purpose than something like TRX. So while a TRX might be great for doing different pulling and pushing motions, it's not great for doing things like squatting, hip hinging, and lunging, and you can do all those things with the Ultimate Sandbag. The last thing is that it's easy to transport. So I like to take my bags with me when I go to Utah, when I go traveling, etc. There's even a water filler option, so I can just take out the water, travel in the airplane, fill them back up, and I can work out from anywhere. It's really amazing just how portable this system is. Okay, benefit number 2, useful for all human movement patterns. So the human movement patterns are hip hinging, lunging, pressing, pulling, squatting, gait, and rotation. And you can practice all of these human movement patterns in a million different ways using the Ultimate Sandbag system. So as I talked about earlier, you can't really do a great job practicing lunging, squatting, and hip hinging with the TRX, but you can do them all with the Ultimate Sandbag. So one system, you practice all the human movements. You can prove all of your weak links using just this one system. Okay, so the last thing is that the Ultimate Sandbag provides unique loading positions. And each of these loading positions has a unique benefit. I can't quite get into all of these loading positions or the unique benefits, but let's cover a couple of them. So first up, we have shouldered. So here you can see me in the top left having a big bag on my shoulder. Now what that does is when the bag is on my shoulder, it's trying to pull me down over to the side that the bag is shouldered on, and my body has to resist that pull to the side. Now that's building something called frontal plane strength, and it's extremely important for hip, knee, and back health. So it can really help you both prevent injury and improve your performance by teaching you how to resist side-to-side motion better. Down below that, we have a lift and chop. So here I'm doing a march with a lift and chop, and by bringing the bag across my body at a diagonal, what it's doing is it's challenging those cross-chain abdominal muscles, in particular my obliques, and on the backside my lats and my glutes, so that I can improve the connections between my opposite arm and opposite leg. Next up, we have neutral grip. So if you look at the top right here, we have David doing a bent over row. What you'll notice here is that the handles are placed in such a way that he's able to maintain a neutral grip with his hands directly out in front of him. With a barbell or a dumbbell, you're going to have to do more of an overhand grip, which makes it a lot harder to activate your lats. So ultimate sandbags are much better for doing bent over rows and also deadlifts. Not that we can't do overhand stuff, it's just going to be much more advanced and be much more difficult to get our lats engaged. So we want to put our bodies in optimal positions, and by having all of these handle options on an ultimate sandbag, we're going to be able to get ourselves in a more optimal position. The last one I want to talk about is the front-loaded position. So because the sandbag has a soft exterior, we can actually load the sandbag against the chest. Why is that so great? So when we load the sandbag against the upper body, what we're doing is we're getting our lats more engaged, and we're also getting the core musculature more engaged. And that's because loading the bag on the upper body puts a longer lever arm across the muscles of the core. So for example, doing a hip hinge with the bag loaded against the chest challenges your core more than doing a deadlift. So having this front-loaded position is very, very useful. So there's also more loading positions here. We got press outs, etc. I'm not going to go into all the benefits of these, but what you need to understand is that having a soft shell with multiple handles and multiple grip positions offers us so many unique benefits that you cannot get using dumbbells and barbells. Okay, benefit number 3. Sandbags move with your body. So what I mean by that is it's easier to move around with a sandbag than it is with, for example, a barbell. Barbells are big and bulky. You can only hold them in one way or a couple different ways. Some of those aren't even good for your back. With the sandbag, you can hold it in multiple ways and then move around with it from there. So my example of that is Corey, and what he's doing here is a rear step max good morning straight into a front-loaded max forward lunge. So what he did was he started on the left. That was his starting position. He's doing a max good morning, and then he stepped forward, came down into a lunge, and slightly rotated his T-spine in the other direction. So he's able to do this really dynamic movement that he couldn't do with a barbell or a dumbbell. So those are my top 3 benefits of using the Ultimate Sandbag Training System. So now, if you think strength training is what you need to take your running to the next level, I have something called a 90-day Strength Foundations course. Now in this, what I do is I write you a customized program that teaches you all the fundamentals of using the Ultimate Sandbag. It takes you through all of the human primary movement patterns, which allows us to both identify and then treat and correct your movement weaknesses and problems. It also is going to help you build tremendous power and really get a leg up on your competition. So if you're interested in learning more about my 90-day Strength Foundations course, you can schedule a consultation call on my website, or you feel free to click around my website and learn more about my students who have taken the program. If you would like some free resources, I have a couple down below. I've got my core training starter kit, which teaches you how to make your core super strong in just 15 minutes a day using nothing but a bath towel. And also my squat starter kit, which gives you 3 videos that show you how to find your ideal squat every time, and then how to load that squat with ultimate sandbags and kettlebells for maximal benefit. I hope you guys love this video. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out to me and I'll get right back to you. Have a great day. Bye.